Hello my friends, and welcome to MB Shoe Doc, where we take the ordinary and make it extraordinary. We will be covering the art of patina and shine, and learn to breathe new life into old shoes. So grab your dyes and polishes, and get ready to get your hands dirty, and let's dive right into today's project. Alright, I'm excited to bring you a new unboxing and custom patina all-in-one today, made by Thanh Le out of Vietnam, who is the owner of Hephaestus shoes. He makes some incredible shoes, and I'm thrilled to be working on these. I really like the way they come with the bold green shoe bag, and the flat laces that are included are a nice touch. This pair is a split-toe derby in crust leather and a very unique football grain leather. Notice the stacked leather heel and the unfinished sole. We'll do something with that later. You can see that it has a closed channel or hidden stitching, and they come in both Goodyear welted or hand welted options. A really well crafted shoe, and again, very excited to get started to work on these. We start with acetone as always to lighten the football grain leather. It's a little bit too much of a reddish tone to it, and I want to go for more of a cognac color. You can see that some of the color is coming off here. It took a while, but these should be light enough to dye now. Hoping this Angelus yellow will cover the red and mute the tone a little bit. Being careful to stay only on the grain leather part because I have a very different plan for the crust leather. It goes on looking fairly dark, but it does quickly lighten to a milder tone. I repeat the process for the heels. We're adjusting the tone with Fibing Beige. And on the heel. So now I'm done with the grain leather and moving on to the crust with Fibing Light Blue. I'm going to create a blue museum style patina. I taped off the soles and the edges because I decided I didn't want to have them blue. I also taped under the eyelets to protect the lining so that the blue dye doesn't get on it as well. Now we're ready for the next layer with Angelus Navy Blue. You'll notice I use a few different brush sizes during this process to vary the pattern. You can also see that this is a long process, building up all the different layers. Now I'm changing to Sapphire Navy Blue and using a much thinner brush for the apron edges. Fibing Navy is next, You'll notice that this color isn't much darker than the Fibing's light blue and really looks more like a royal blue. Using Saphir Navy to darken things up a little further. Finally, enough dye layers, and we're going to recondition with Bic 4. Since some dye does come off onto the cloth, I switched cloths. I didn't want to add any yellow pigment to the blue areas. You'll notice a few areas that didn't really absorb the dye properly. I think there might be a tiny layer of adhesive here. I'll try to strip these areas again with a Q-tip and acetone and re-dye them. If this doesn't work, you can lightly sand or use a magic eraser. I wanted to add a bit more variation to the cognac tone, so I'm using some Fibing's light brown to give it a little more shading. Adding some museum effect here as well. There's a little bit of white on the apron on the border between the blue and the cognac and around the edges of the shoe. I'm using the Saphir Navy again. So here's where we're at. I'm really happy with how it's looking. Since I've added more dye, I'm going to recondition one more time. Time for some sole action. Using the Fibing's beige for a base coat. Can't forget the edges either. And the stacked leather heel. I already started on the soles with the Fibing's light brown, but continuing to work on them here, going for a streaked patina. I'm using tissue paper so I don't put too much dye on the table, nor pick up any of the different dye colors off the table onto the sole. Now it's time to shine. I use Saphir Mirror Gloss for a base coat, and I always begin by applying with just my fingers. I'm shining the soles as well. And can't forget the edges and the heel. So here's the finished product. I'm really thrilled with how these turned out. My inspiration was from an Ascot Con pair made by Vash, and it had a similar color combo. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next one.